All right, so this here is quite a big topic. Whenever I get on demons and things like that, there's just a lot to say about them. Um, Obviously, they're one of my most hated creatures of life of all time, and there will be a day where I finally cut some demon heads, and I can't wait for that day. But for now, I just sit here and just have to learn about them and see them do the shit that they do, stuff that really annoys me, and I've always tried to figure out their plans, Satan's plans, and things like that. And at times, I feel as though I've come up with some answers, and maybe I still don't know. But I truly do believe that I kind of get what demons are trying to do with this earth. And I believe they are trying to demonize it, what I call it. I believe they're trying to make it a dark place to be. And there's got to be a reason for why they would want to do that. And I just think that everything in life has its own unique desire, and that includes Satan himself. I'm sure he's got to have his own unique desire, and there will always be bad souls, dark souls that would like to be uh, would like to follow that same dream, and he probably leads the way of that dream. So whenever it seems like I'm looking at a demon and I see demon activity, it appears to me like they seem to always represent things that are of a dark nature. Violence, sexual things especially. They love things that really provide for their bodies. I believe that every time I see something sexual, I know that that's coming from a demon. Someone who has a demon in their soul. That might just be 80% of you humans. You guys have a lot of that in you. A lot of you people going sexual or giving birth to kids that are always talking about sex with their friends or things like that, that's demonic. That's what I consider demonic. I believe that demons would like that type of thing. I mean, if they're demons, what we call evil, dark, they're going to want something that serves their body and brain. Well, I would think that if sex feels good, they're all going to be in that shit. That's just going to be one of their most favorite things. I think they like things that are excessive, uh, very excessive. Like they like things that are good, entertaining, on a very excessive manner. And sex is not something that has to be considered as evil, but enough of it can get there. Too much of it. There is a such thing as too much of everything, in my opinion. Too much of it is what demons like. Too much of it is what um, people who are of a holy nature do not like, because we know what it does having too much sex. It's not like should there be a God that he just said um, that too much of these things are bad, but there is no real reason why they're bad. There are rules to life that allow us to learn what life even means in the first place and how we should treat it. For example, if we're all born in heaven, and we still have anything realistically like the way if our minds are anything realistically like they are now, and we're in heaven, born in heaven, we actually would not understand how awesome heaven really was. But once you go to hell, it's like I'm sure you would then think that Earth is like heaven. Earth must feel really good after spending a time in a place that is just so uncomfortable, no matter where you look, no matter what you feel and what you smell. It's always uncomfortable. And if that's how hell is, I would imagine Earth would feel like heaven for anybody who's lived there for a year. So, this being said, if we have an excessive amount of sex or drugs or things like that, it really defeats the purpose of everything else outside of that. Our addiction to these things, sweets and food and all that, even if there is no punishment to our bodies from it, there's a big punishment to our minds, and we tend not we become more like animals. Animals do that. This is why animals don't do anything except eat, play, wander around, and sleep, because those things are enough for them. And so it's like their minds not being as intelligent as ours. They are stuck doing these things without wanting to do anything else. It's like they're addicted to these things. It's all they really care about. Even with all of our intelligence, we humans end up like that when it comes to drugs, sex, and other things, drama, things like that, reputation. Those are just a few things you can count on one hand, and that's all we seem to attach to. No matter how intelligent we are, we're able to do thousands more than just that. But we leave ourselves doing like less than five things in our life, less than five priorities. Due to that, we are dumbing ourselves down to animal level when it comes to our addiction to these things. Sex feeling good, drugs feeling good. If we um, if we allow ourselves to be addicted to those things, we will never do anything more, and we will never actually appreciate life for what it really is. Um, so now, look at us now. It so happens that we are on planet Earth, and we have skin now. We have flesh now. So interestingly enough, if you eat too much food, there is a punishment on your body. Too much junk food. If you have too much sex, there is a punishment on your body. Especially with the idea of STDs being existent and other things, herpes, genital warts. And it's not even just too much sex, but even the wrong sex. Um, Too much drugs. All of these things have bad side effects on our bodies now, not just our minds. So now there's a punishment that comes with it, and this is kind of like a good punishment. It's something that's supposed to kind of teach us to. It like gives us a proof that we should try different things out there. There's thousands of more things that now we're capable of doing. It's like a blessing to have the brain of a human. To have the intelligence that we have is a big blessing. But the problem is that we're also given a decision to use it. We're not forced to use our brains. Like a cat is forced to use its own intelligence. They're forced to have this urge to use the restroom in cat litter. It's weird. They're just naturally already knowledgeable to use cat litter and know what it is and what it's for. And even protect their own kittens and things like that. On the other hand, with us, it's like we have to be potty trained. We have to be shown the way. We have to teach our babies how to walk. Cats, they eventually learn how to walk on their own, starting from kittens and things like that. Our babies, we have to teach them how to walk on their 2 feet. So it's interesting, like we're given a decision to do all of these things, a decision to do what's right or wrong, to control our addictions and things like that. This is shockingly, it sounds simple, but it shockingly makes everything difficult. Because if everybody simply made the decision to control their addictions and things like that, life would be almost too easy. We'd do everything right. But now we have the decision to do that. And it so happens we live in a time right now where many humans have made a bad decision to not control their addictions to sex and things like that. I, if you are a believer of God and hell and demons, Satan, I truly believe that demons have no control over these things. I don't know what they are and how they exist as demons or whatever, if they used to be human or whatever, but they just really are corrupt, and or if they're created to be demons, to be that bad, to be that evil, to not care about controlling themselves. But it so happens that demons lack complete control of their addiction, and when they get in you humans, I see it in you, most of you, that you have no control over sex, sexuality, drugs. Now we're worshiping the idea of weed. It's in the music and things like that, and that's all people talk about now. And the idea of sex and what a girl's body should look like, how large her ass should be, and things like that. now it's coming together that we, like animals, are only addicted to a few things, but not many. We could love thousands of things in life, but we have resorted to this point where now we only love just a few. And these are things that do harm to our bodies, at least while we have flesh on planet Earth. But that's not really the important part. If God is real, and I fucking hate tests, I don't believe in it. But if it, let's say hypothetically it was like a test to be on Earth, that would be crazy to me. But we would easily fail the test if it's a mental thing. Because even if our bodies were invincible, being addicted to all these things, just a few things that you can count on one hand, if not even two, it destroys basically our meaning, our dream and meaning of heaven. If we were to go to heaven, we wouldn't have the knowledge to even actually appreciate it for what it is forever. See, the thing is, like, when you are spoiled, you don't necessarily know how awesome what you're being spoiled with actually is. You don't understand how awesome it really is. But a person who is poor, homeless, and they are of a good age, such as their late teenage years or early adult years at minimum, um, and they say they were homeless for about a good year, that person becoming rich, they would easily be overwhelmed with so much money. They could appreciate almost anything they would get. They would understand how beautiful life actually is. They would understand how beautiful vacation is, and traveling, driving in a car, riding a simple bicycle would be awesome to them. I mean, these things naturally really are beautiful. Everything is beautiful. I mean, it can't. It's like things only get better when it exceeds itself, maybe within abundancy, and when it's able to be different. But you can't really appreciate any of it if you haven't conquered the meaning of appreciation in the first place. When you are spoiled, you don't know the meaning of appreciation because you start out with everything. And anything that you've ever wanted, you don't have to struggle to get it. It's there. But when you go through struggle and you have to try hard to get things, you have to feel the pain, then even just simply not having pain feels like as if you're wealthy. To not have to feel a harsh uh, heat from sunlight, say if you're homeless and you have to face the sun all day, to have an air conditioner makes you feel wealthy right then and there. So think about that. You're actually appreciating air. Something as simple as like just plain air. You're appreciating it as if it made you wealthy. Imagine how heaven will feel to you, to that person, versus a person who has been born with air conditioner, born with food, abundancy, food that tastes great of any level, different kinds of food. A person born with all that is not going to feel wealthy whatsoever. They're always going to want more. They're always going to want something different. And they're always going to be bored because sometimes the more is like the basics of what you already have anyway. It's like you can always buy different types of air conditioner, but it uses the same element, which is air. So you couldn't always really be excited for a new kind of air conditioner that you could buy in the future and things like that if you haven't even conquered the appreciation of air in the first place plainly. Just that. But a homeless person, for a homeless person, it would be unlimited for them. And each new creation of an air conditioner, as long as they hold close to the meaning, close to heart, the meaning of appreciation of life and everything like that, they will always, forever appreciate everything given to them, even if it's small. Small to someone who was born wealthy. So those are the kinds of people, if you ask me, belong in heaven.